We are at the Big Bob's convention. We're in Kansas City. This is the 21st convention, I think. I am with Russell Hunt, Big Bob's, Oklahoma City. And Russell, how are you?
I'm doing well.
How old are you?
I am 37.
You got to think about that.
I do have to think about it.
Now, you're a new generation of business people. There's not many of you in this business. How did you end up with a Big Bob?
Well, you know, I was a real estate investor, still am. Really enjoy real estate, and I had ended up in the flooring business through that because I was using flooring for my real estate businesses, and we ended up in the flooring business because of that.
I see. And you had no exposure in floor covering or retailing, I guess, before that?
None at all. When we first started out, we had no experience in floor covering, retail, nothing. All we had experience was real estate.
Now, you really have written the book on the new look of Big Bob's, if I'm not mistaken. Is that true?
We didn't write it. We kind of put some of the pieces together, and we let them try out some stuff in our store. So.
Okay. Well, talk about the old versus the new, and what that was trying to accomplish.
Well, we want to make it a little more user-friendly, a little bit easier to shop. We try to make it to where the customer has a has a little easier time walking through the store without the salesman, and they don't have to have somebody following them around, but they can get that if they need it.
So how do you handle, and I know younger consumers don't want somebody in their hair all the time, unless, like you say, they ask for it. How do you handle that when they walk in the door? How do you let them know you're available when they want you to be available?
You know, that's one of those difficult things. It's a fine line of if you're giving them too much attention or not enough attention, and that's something that your salesmen have to be aware of, and it's something that you have to just kind of play around with to see what your customers need, because every customer's needs are different.
Now, do you find that difference is age-specific? Younger people act one way, older people act another for the most part?
Oh, of course, there's tendencies with different ages, different demographics, but overall, it's completely specific to the person.
Okay. Now, I know some of the stores that I've been into, these are the full-service stores, I think they've decided that every salesman that comes in has a product that might sell, they're going to stick it someplace. And it almost seems to me that as a customer, I would look at it and want to turn out, turn around and go back. It's just too much, too complicated. All that to ask you this question: when a consumer walks in the front door, what do you want them to think?
You know, we want them to think that they can find what they're looking for, and whether that's a carpet, hard surface, whatever it is, we want them to think as soon as they walk in the door, they've got what we need. Regardless of whether we do or not, we want them to get that impression. And as long as we can get that across to them, then we can figure out if we actually have what they need and direct them to the right product.
Now, your partner, I guess, had given a presentation talking about moving from one location to another. Talk about that move.
Well, we just recently sold our old building, moved to a new building. And we're fairly close to where we were. We were right up the street to a building that we already owned, and it was a good move for us in the fact that we got it all under one roof, and we've got a lot more control over our inventory, and it also gave us a little bit better showroom look.
So you could reinvent yourself in the process?
Somewhat. We tightened up our showroom a little bit. We went to a showroom that's a little bit cozier and a little bit more refined than what we had before, so it makes it look a lot better for the consumer.
Now, I saw a slide of your showroom. It looked very neat. I think a lot of the warehouse stores, drive women away because it looks messy. Yours certainly was not messy.
We definitely try not to have mess.
Yeah. It was well priced. I mean, you could see all the price. That's an important factor, keeping it neat.
Oh, well, that's one of those things that Big Bob's has pushed for years now is the merchandising side. We've really been really pushing merchandising for the last few years, and one of those things is getting everything marked, everything easy to read, and that's another thing that makes it easier for the customer to shop.
Now, pricing strategy. Let me ask you about that. How do you, when you lay out the floor, you decide what product goes where. What does price have to do with your layout, or does it play a role in your
Price doesn't really play into it anywhere. You know, we pretty much group stuff. We group the soft surface, we group the hard surface together, and you know, if they're looking for wood, you know, they're going to be looking for wood. So if they're looking for carpet, they'll be looking for carpet, but it all just kind of goes together.
One of the presentations here was have something on sale at all times, maybe a third of the product on the floor, and change that every month. Is that something you guys might do?
We possibly might. We right now we don't do a whole lot of sales. We try to keep our stuff competitively priced all the time, and I think when you market high and then start doing sales, that starts to make your customer question your pricing. So we kind of do it a little bit different, and we try to give good pricing all of the time.
When you decided on a Big Bob's, I suspect there were some other options that you were considering. Talk about what Big Bob's brings to the party. And now, obviously, you're big on that idea. Why?
Well, one of the things we really liked about Big Bob's was the camaraderie amongst the members. There's some really big players in the group, and that brought in a lot of opportunities for us. But then the other thing was they had a lot of merchandising, advertising. They had all those pieces that we didn't have and that we couldn't get as an independent. And that's you know, we were really looking for something that would give us some knowledge more than anything.
What's ahead? Do you see more locations?
You know, it's one of those things. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. We're just looking to grow wherever we can, whether that's with increased sales or new locations, whatever the future brings.
Are there things that you picked up at this outing that you're going to go back and put into effect?
There's always something. You learn every time you go anywhere. There's always new stuff coming, and you know, we always try to learn every time we go to a convention, every time we travel. We're always looking for something to learn from.
Russell, thanks for joining us. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
We've been talking to Russell Hunt. He is the Big Bob's player in Oklahoma City. We're at the Big Bob's convention in Kansas City. This is Talk Floor TV.